Tonight, major steps moving forward in a controversial situation that's now gone on for years in Troy. Renovations will begin later this week on the old courthouse building, known to many as the Tavern Building. Jenny Borg found out what this next step means for this block of downtown Troy. She joins us now live. So, Jenny, what exactly is going on?
Yeah, Elise, ultimately this means that this block of downtown Troy that's been closed since June of last year will reopen hopefully in just a few months. It also means that a historic building has a chance to be restored. For people that work here, this has been a long time coming.
I'm really happy they finally figured out, it has a deadline of when it has to be over. It's been frustrating being, shut down.
After years of debating about whether the old courthouse building in downtown Troy should be restored or demolished, December 2023 marked a significant point where parties involved came to an agreement. Troy Historic Preservation Alliance bought it from the owner, who originally planned to demolish it for $485,000. Alliance President Ben Southerly explains why the purchase was so important.
Well, this is one of the most historic buildings in Troy and Miami County. It is the rear portion of the building is the sixth oldest courthouse remaining in the state of Ohio, built in 1840-41.
During the street closure and court proceedings, businesses on the block say they've suffered.
Our sales have just been down consistently because people don't want to go downtown. It's kind of messy. It's kind of inconvenient to find parking. No one wants to mess with all that.
Southerly says the building stopped being used as a courthouse in 1888. Additions to it were put on in 1902. By 1939, the top two floors were out of use, the first floor still being home to businesses. Between 5 to 10 years ago is when all businesses left and it sat vacant, suffering tornado damage in January 2020. He tells me the community came together to save it.
This is creating an opportunity for our community to come together and do something positive in this space. For the last few years, there has been a legal dispute around what happens with this property, and it was kind of a divisive situation, and now we feel like we're trying to turn a corner and do something positive with this space and give the community something that they can be proud of.
The Alliance announcing it raised 80% of its $750,000 goal to restore it, the goal to turn it into a mixed-use space. The group will have until April 30th to finish stabilizing the building or risk it being demolished.
We will be focusing on stabilizing the roof of the building as well as some work on the walls. And that work is expected to commence later this week with the erection of scaffolding.
Southerly tells me the street will be able to reopen a month sooner if the organization is successful at stabilizing it versus demolishing it. For more of the building's history, including some that ties in with Black History Month, go visit our website, Dayton247now.com. Back to you in studio.
Jenny, thank you. Tonight, Springfield police are now investigating after they say two people were shooting at one another on the street. It happened near South Yellow Spring Street and West Pleasant Street. Police say they were shooting at one another from different vehicles. No one was hurt. No suspects, though, have been identified. Now, there is damage at that Marathon gas station. Also, right now, crews are working to repair a water main break in Miamisburg. In a post on social media, the city says it happened at King Richard Parkway and Gebhardt Church Road, affecting multiple streets in the area. A boil advisory is now in place for the streets that are highlighted here behind me. And you can see that crews will also be distributing door hangers with instructions to all properties that are now affected. Tonight, we are learning that one person has died and several others hurt after a crash in Riverside. Troopers say it happened at the intersection of Harshman Road and State Route 4 yesterday morning. Investigators say one driver was turning onto Harshman Road when he was hit by another car. 57-year-old Leonard Lapoma was pronounced dead at the scene. The other driver and two kids were taken to the hospital but are expected to be okay. Tonight, two teens are behind bars after leading police on a high-speed chase. It happened in Liberty Township early this morning. Police say that chase ended in a crash. 3 people were taken to the hospital. Right now, we're working to learn their conditions tonight. And for the very first time tonight, we are hearing the 911 call, letting us hear from Pammy May. She's the woman charged with murdering 5-year-old Darnell Taylor. The two were at the center of last week's statewide Amber Alert. Steve Levine brings us tonight's new details.
Are you hurt in any way?
No, no, but...
For the first time, we are hearing from Pammy May, charged in the death of 5-year-old Darnell Turner, as she talked to a 911 dispatcher Thursday night near Cleveland after being found wearing a nightgown, walking around a suburban business.
Can you call my husband for me?
Yeah, we're trying to get a hold of him, but can you tell me what's going on so we can let him know?
He won't know. Oh, please.
A statewide Amber Alert was issued for May and 5-year-old Darnell Turner early Wednesday morning after they vanished from their Columbus home. May and her husband are Darnell's legal custodians. May's husband called 911 in Columbus, telling dispatchers his wife told him the child was dead. May's car found in suburban Cleveland a few hours later after the two were reported missing. Police say they discovered the body of the little boy in this sewer drain in Franklin County shortly after May was interviewed by police after she was found.
There's a lot of stuff out here, more than when I woke up to.
Since then, people dropping off stuffed animals, flowers, and toys as part of this homemade memorial, just feet from where the child was discovered. Friends and strangers remembering a little boy they never knew.
No, I didn't know him, but he became everybody's child. That, for those couple of days we were all looking and praying for him. He belonged to all of us.
That was Steve Levine reporting. A member of Darnell's biological family says his mother and father's families are working together on a private service for Darnell. May is behind bars in the Cuyahoga County Jail and is expected in court tomorrow. We, of course, will bring you those updates then. Well, back here at home in the Miami Valley, moving on to weather, of course, it was a beautiful day out there.
It really was. A nice one where that snow started to really melt away. The sunshine was out. It's cold out there right now, but it's, still winter. We got 32 in Dayton, 30 in Bellefontaine right now, 25 Richmond. We got 28 in Urbana. So overall, chilly conditions across the board. It's going to be another cold night tonight, especially for places that still have some snow on the ground. We're all warmer compared to this time yesterday, though. 9 degrees warmer up in Wapakoneta, 7 degrees warmer in Greenville. School day forecast for tomorrow. We're going to wake up to 20s by the afternoon. Going to be pretty close to 50 degrees. Lots of sunshine during the day as well, so it's looking pretty good. We got some mild weather on the way, and then eventually we're tracking some rain by later this week too, so I'll time that all out for you with a look at your 7-day coming up.
Well, if you couldn't make it out to Sinclair Community College today, don't worry, you're going to have plenty more chances. More than 600 prospective students and their families visited campus for Spring Visit Day. It's a chance for them to learn all about what Sinclair offers and the transition to college.
Business, accounting, everything from culinary to public safety, liberal arts, communications, education, anything you can think of, we have at Sinclair. We'll have sessions on FAFSA and how to complete the FAFSA for families to learn about how to pay for college. We also have some sessions for our credit-bearing students who are taking College Credit Plus or Tech Prep in high school.
If you missed today's event, there's campus visits 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you can't make it in person, that's okay. There's even virtual walkthroughs available on their website. Just head to sinclair.edu to take a tour, learn about programs, or connect with an admissions counselor. Ohio's primary election is exactly 1 month away. What you need to know so you're ready to cast your ballot. And a city in Minnesota in mourning tonight. The loss of first responders after they were shot while on duty. We've got those details about the devastating incident.
Plus, I'm tracking warmer weather and some sunshine, but rain chances return too. I'll let you know when that's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Ohio's primary election is exactly 1 month away, but now is the time to make sure you're able to vote. The last day to register to vote is tomorrow. Early voting starts Wednesday, and Tom Bosco has what you need to know.
A reminder, of course, that you must declare whether you are a Republican, Democrat, or Independent, and that will affect who you are able to cast a vote for in the primary. Republican voters will see a number of names on the ballot. They will see Chris Christie's name, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and Vivek Ramaswamy, although all but Haley have suspended their presidential campaigns. And of course, the other name on the ballot, the one that overshadows all of them, former President Donald Trump. And for Democrats, 2 names on the ballot. Dean Phillips with his long shot bid against the sitting president of the United States, Joe Biden. There's a fierce battle brewing in the race for U.S. Senate. Republican voters will have to choose between Cleveland car dealer Bernie Moreno, Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose, and Ohio State Senator Matt Dolan. The 3 of them hoping to face off in the fall with the only Democrat on the ballot for U.S. Senate, incumbent Sherrod Brown. A reminder, Tuesday is the last day to register to vote, then early voting begins Wednesday, all leading up to the March 19th primary.
That was Tom Bosco reporting. And don't forget, you do need a photo ID to vote in Ohio now. You can see all the voter requirements, plus register to vote, update your voter registration, and even request an absentee ballot at voteohio.gov.
Well, we finally got some snow across the area, a good amount of it for our Friday. Some spots, of course, saw a little bit more than others, but in Dayton, 4.6 inches of snowfall, and that's what we've seen all for the month of February thus far. And for the season, 13 inches of snow, which is still behind the normal, 5.7 inches, in fact, behind what we typically would see by this point in the season. But we have been knocked out of the top 10 least snowiest seasons on records thus far. As far as what we have across the area, past several days have been below normal, right around normal for today, but I expect the rest of this week to pretty much all be in red. Above normal temperatures return. I'll let you know how warm we'll get coming up in just a bit.
Taking a live look here behind me of our roads on our ODOT cameras tonight. With so many people on the roads and highways, it increases the chances of more accidents. Kasha Hancock spoke to AAA about how to keep yourself and others safe while driving.
At least I spoke to AAA and was surprised to find out while it may be a little concerning to drive in snowy conditions, AAA tells me you need to be focused on your driving no matter the condition of the roads. According to Kissling, Netico, and Reddick, Ohio LLC, Ohio injury attorneys, there were a total of 4,235 accidents in Montgomery County in 2023, some of the most common being pedestrian, bicycle, and motorcycle accidents. Almost anything can cause an accident, but AAA says distracted driving is extremely dangerous.
Whether it's texting or making a phone call or, heaven forbid, doing social media, watching movies. We've heard people watching movies or watching TV shows on their phone behind the wheel.
AAA also encourages drivers to make sure vehicle parts are screwed tightly to prevent things from falling off of cars onto the road. Back to you.
Kasha, thank you. A city in Minnesota in mourning tonight after 2 police officers and a firefighter were killed while responding to a violent domestic call. Now, it happened in a suburb near Minneapolis when a heavily armed man barricaded himself inside with family members, including 7 children. Police say the suspect shot at them after 4 hours of negotiations. Authorities identified the 2 officers as Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Rouge. Now, firefighter Adam Finseth was also killed.
These were 2 incredible police officers, 1 incredible emergency responder, and they were just doing their jobs. They went to the scene and they rescued these kids, and that rescue cost them their lives.
A 4th officer was also wounded in the attack but is expected to recover. Authorities say the man who allegedly shot them is also dead. Police say the family was able to leave that home safely. And a church is now helping a town grieve after a Virginia firefighter died in a house explosion. Crews were called to a home in the town of Sterling after reports of a fire. Shortly after they arrived, that house exploded, killing 1 firefighter and injuring nearly a dozen others.
How important it is during times of tragedy that we don't isolate, that we come together, and that's exactly what they did. Mr. Brown was a great member of the volunteer fire company. I served with him on my crew for quite a while. His loss is a major one for our company and for the community.
They are in our prayers.
Yeah, we are praying for the family of the fallen firefighter.
At least 9 others were hurt. Now, the cause of the fire and blast remains under investigation. Well, the world's highest court began hearing arguments today on whether Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories is legal. This hearing comes after the United Nations General Assembly submitted a request for it. Palestine's Foreign Affairs Minister argues occupation must end to have a chance for any two-state solution.
We are looking for opening a political horizon. And at the top of it is, of course, the materialization of the state of Palestine.
Israel denies the accusations and maintains that it has a right to protect its citizens. Judges will likely take months to issue an opinion on the matter. Now, tonight, the U.S. has proposed a UN Security Council draft resolution calling for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. It falls short of what many Security Council members are calling for, an immediate ceasefire. The draft also calls for the release of Israeli hostages while also warning against an Israeli ground incursion into Rafah. The U.S. has previously voted against at least 2 Security Council resolutions on the conflict. Meanwhile, tonight, Capital One is buying Discover Financial Services. The deal will combine 2 of the U.S. largest credit card companies. Capital One has a market value of more than $52 billion. Discover's market value is $28 billion. Now, the merger would be one of the biggest mergers this year. We're told Capital One plans to switch at least some of its MasterCard and Visa cards to the Discover network and then keep the Discover brand. A live look right now from our Eco Plumber Sky Cam over the Miami Valley. A beautiful night out there. Let's send things right over to Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters.
Yeah, it's been a great day today. Got another nice day tomorrow. Clear skies tonight. They're going to help temperatures fall, especially for spots with snow still on the ground. It's going to get a little bit colder for you tonight as well. Next, weather makers back off to our west. We will see an area of low pressure swing some rain chances into the region. Then eventually we'll see some colder air slide its way in too. So waking up tomorrow morning in the 20s. We got 50s and 40s tomorrow afternoon. Lots of sun. Another nice day. Melting continuing to take place. Heading into our Wednesday, we'll start out the day in the 30s, and then by Wednesday afternoon, we're tracking those mid-50s, could see some upper 50s, got some clouds around, but then we got the rain that builds its way in. So Wednesday night into Thursday, we're tracking those showers, becoming a little bit more widespread by our Thursday afternoon. Just plan on a soggy Thursday on the way. I'll have a look at the rest of the week coming up.
If you register to donate blood this month, you could also get free tickets to the first 4. All the drives you can donate at to get your name into the hat. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood. That's according to the American Red Cross, which is now facing an emergency blood shortage. Right now, it's experiencing the lowest number of people giving blood in the last 2 decades. So starting today through March 2nd, if you register to give blood at the Solvita Blood Center in Dayton, you'll automatically be entered into a drawing for 4 tickets to the first 4 games at UD Arena. You'll also receive a long sleeve hoodie t-shirt. And as you can see here, there's plenty of opportunities to give all across the Miami Valley. Now this week alone, there's more than 25 drives happening. You can find this whole list of blood drive donations, dates and times in the web version of this story at Dayton247now.com in the local tab. And to schedule your appointment, head to solvita.org or donortime.org or .com, or even call that number you see there on your screen. The website will also give you tips to prepare for your blood donation and explain the process. A Texas mom on a mission to stop more children from getting hurt, how her Ban Water Beads Act wants to save kids' lives and convince lawmakers to take action. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.